Asian Americans Advancing Justice Southern California is a nonprofit. The organization in itself started in 1983 after the wake of Vincent Chin's murder, who was a Chinese American who was mistaken as Japanese American and was murdered because they believed that he was Japanese American and that he was taking away people's jobs in Detroit. That kind of spurred Stuart Kuo, the founder, to create this organization in 1983. It first started as the Asian Pacific American Legal Center, and then it changed into Asian Americans Advancing Justice, and now we use Southern California to distinguish ourselves. The partnership started around 2017. It was through our director of the Orange County office right now, Andy G. He was in charge of the immigration department around that time. We were noticing a lot of our clients were ESL students, and a lot of them were telling us that they go to ESL class at Huntington Beach Adult School, and they spoke very highly of it. And so what Andy had done was approach Huntington Beach, letting them know that, hey, we're seeing a lot of clients who go to your classes. Is there any interest in maybe partnering up in order to see if we can host clinics or even do presentations at the school in order for people to be informed of the naturalization process, as well as get pro bono help in terms of filing their citizenship applications? Yes, so we do have them. Starting from 2017, I know they were doing it probably monthly. However, of course there was a hiatus during COVID, and then now we're doing them maybe once a quarter, once every 3 months or so, at Huntington Beach Adult School. So right now, what we're offering are citizenship or naturalization clinics at Huntington Beach Adult School. There we are helping people or folks fill out the citizenship application and prepare the citizenship packet to the best of their ability. And then depending on their case, we either help them file their case with USCIS, or if there's a complication or a complicated issue related to their case, then we provide pro bono representation on their case, and we accompany them to the citizenship interview as well. So it depends on the case and the person. However, it usually takes one of those two routes. Either their case looks good and then we help them file that day, or if there's a complication but we can still move forward, then we would represent them at USCIS when they go to their citizenship interview. Yeah, that's a great question. So typically how it works is, we set up a date with Huntington Beach Adult School, for example, saying this X date we're going to host a clinic. Us and Huntington Beach Adult School would advertise for that clinic, saying that we're hosting a naturalization clinic. And then on our materials, there's a phone number that folks can call, and it's usually in language, so there's different phone numbers for different languages, and they can call. And so when they call, they reach one of our intake lines, and then they will do an initial screening in order to make sure that the person is eligible to file for citizenship. Once it's determined that they are eligible, then they will confirm an appointment on that day and be given materials to pre-fill before that appointment. So that's how that first initial contact looks like. And then after that, we would have a list of folks that we're expecting on that day, and they would arrive during their appointment time. One of our attorneys or support staff will go through the citizenship application with them, fill it out. If there are any issues, they get addressed. But let's say everything goes well, then we would prepare the packet, and then basically it's ready for mailing at that point. And then the client would be able to mail the application to USCIS, and they would have a copy of their application with them. And then if it's a simple case, that's where our kind of help and representation ends. But if it's a complicated case, then we would either continue working on their case until it's filed, and that can happen back here at the office again. The most common way which we get clients, and especially through Huntington Beach Adult School, right, through their ESL classes. Usually when folks come here to the United States, they immigrate with their family members, right? So once one person gets assisted, then they tend to tell, the rest of the family, and we get to build great relationships with folks that way. Usually they'll be like, oh, do you remember my mom? And I'm like, who's your mom again? And they, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So we've definitely seen kind of like an increase, but also that's the most common way in which we get folks to be able to assist them. I feel that folks need to be prepared in terms of their English ability. The conversation in the interview can be quite rigorous in terms of how many questions they ask, how involved they want to get in the conversation. So more so than not, I would encourage folks to really practice, their English and their English comprehension to make sure that they don't deny your citizenship application because of your English ability, and then you're going to have to refile and then wait another year or so before you get another interview. So that's kind of the one thing I want to let people know. Yeah, absolutely. And they've done a great job in terms of folks getting folks to be English proficient, or at least pass the citizenship application process. And like I mentioned, that's kind of how this whole partnership started, right? We were seeing clients from Huntington Beach Adult School, their ESL classes. So it's just been a great relationship where we help people on the legal end, and then HBAS helps people on getting them prepared for their English interview.